You're listening to Sox in the Basement, a production of the Broadcast Basement Limited, where every show is 30 minutes of good and comes from a basement bar on the south side of Chicago. Pull up a stool, pour a cold one, and join us right now for Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at soxinthebasement.com. And for the last time at this location, belly on up to the 9-foot homemade oak bar and pour yourself a cold one for Sox in the Basement. The 9-foot homemade oak bar here in my basement in Evergreen Park. I'm already in the middle of packing it up. There is video today that will be on the YouTube channel at some point on Wednesday, and the show itself came out late on Wednesday because yesterday was moving day, Ed.
Yes, and thank you for not asking me to help you carry things out to the new place.
I'm too old for that. I can't.
Right?
I mean, here's the thing. It's been 20 years since I last moved. And yesterday was such an experience. Because, first of all, it's the first time I've ever used movers. And secondly, I realized I have way too much crap. Just so much crap. I wasn't saying crap when I was standing there. Like, I just kept muttering it over and over again. Like, who accumulates this much crap? First of all, I know how my ex lost all the money. There were like 7 pizza cutters. There were like electronic bottle openers for wine bottles, and there were duplicates of like 7 or 8 different things just stuffed in the drawers and never opened. This is why there were financial problems back then. Okay, there was just buying things and just shoving them in the drawers, and I didn't even know they existed. So it was a treasure trove of just crap that I kept finding, and I filled up every garbage can, the curb on 99th Street, right in between Homan and Turner. Come on by. There's couches. There's just crap. There's a lot of crap up on the curb. If you don't get it, bulk removal is going to get it on Thursday morning. But if you're a junker, this is the address. Come on over and grab it. I mean,
this is your place. This is your time to shine.
Yeah. I mean, like it is. And the thing is, I use movers. I'm going to give a quick shout out to the moving company. They're not paying me for this, but just for the fact that they seem to have been the only honest movers that I spoke to when I called like 10 or 20 of them, trying to figure out if I could find somebody I trusted with all my stuff. And I used Collins Family Movers. They're way up north. I actually paid extra for their travel time to come down to Evergreen Park because I couldn't find anything in my area. And I'm sure there's good movers in my area, but it's very, very difficult. You go Google like highest rated movers. You don't find that. You find that like reviews about like the movers showed up drunk and puked on my couch. Like you see some crazy stuff when you're trying to find movers. And Collins was like really highly rated. So they were one of the ones that I called and they didn't have those stories. And when I called them, they were the only ones that didn't say, after I described the entire house, all the different items that had to be moved out, went room by room. They were the only ones that didn't say, we'll send a truck and 2 guys. Everybody else, that's all they were sending. A truck and 2 guys. They all estimated 5 hours to move from where we were at to where we were going. 2 guys. Collins sent 2 trucks and 5 guys and gave me the same price. Because they understood that it's not about giving me a low price. Like, that's what I learned. Like, every moving company, it seemed like, at least that I talked to, was like, oh, we'll send 2 guys in a truck and it'll be done in 5 hours. But of course, if it takes longer than that, it's like, $300 an hour or $260 an hour or something like that. And they all knew it was going to take longer than that.
And with 2 guys in one truck, it was going to take way longer.
Way longer than that. Where Collins was like, same price, because it was hourly, and they sent 5 guys and 2 trucks, and they did it in 5.5 hours. They were only a half hour over. I even tipped my guys. Like, I was like, I'm tipping the movers. They did a good job. They had one thing that broke. It wasn't perfect, but no move is perfect, right? But I mean, like, otherwise, like, that's what struck me as so odd. Like, this whole thing, from the moment that I decided I was selling the house to finding the apartment to getting the movers, I got to tell you right now, you got to be really careful out there moving your stuff, Especially like we're temporarily renting while we're looking for the next house. Like landlords are the most frightening thing in the world. Like 95% of them are slumlords that I've come across. Just like weird things in their contracts and stuff that they're pulling and, give me 3 months rent in advance or otherwise I'm backing out of the deal. I've had you've heard it. I've had the strangest things happen to me throughout this entire process. And then the moving companies, I found one that was like realistic about the whole thing. And everybody else, I felt like they were trying to trap me. It is scary out there moving from one place to another.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you and I quoted or paraphrased The Empire Strikes Back, where you were Lando and you were dealing with Darth Vader, and it was, I have altered the deal, pray I don't alter it further.
Right, we had two different places we were going to move into before the one we eventually ended up in because they changed the deal on me after we had agreed. And then the lease shows up and it's something completely different. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, look, every time I explain to people what I did, hey, I'm selling the house because this is it. This wipes free, like wipes clean, like this little bit of debt that's left over from all the divorce stuff, right? And then I put a giant chunk of money in the bank. And then I go out and I buy what I really want and I just start with something like new, right? Like the guy who's buying this place, God love him. He wants to live next to his brother. He already purchased it. And he's going to probably have to fix up some things in this house that's been lived in for 20 years. I'm going to buy something that's already fixed. I've already told myself that. I don't want to fix anything, Ed. That's all I'm looking at. I want new. I want new or recently updated, like from top to bottom. That's what I'm doing. I'm never doing it. Just like with the movers. Like I'm never carrying anything up the stairs again. That's why I hired movers, because I'm 48 years old. I don't want to fix anything in the next house. I'm just buying it that way. And that's all I want to talk about the move. I know we want to talk about White Sox, and I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm sitting there in this bar for the last time. Half the stuff is down. If you're watching the video on YouTube when it gets up, I have not taken down the stuff around me. But we had a big party on Sunday. And one of our mutual friends from the mix, Dana, was down here in the basement. And she said something really funny, so I wanted to bring it up to start the show off. And I'll put it up for the people for the video. I have this plaque. Like, I have a million pieces of memorabilia down here. I have so much White Sox stuff down here. And packing it, this is why I'm doing this separately from the movers. Like, I'm taking this stuff to the new studio location, just myself, to make sure that everything makes it perfectly there, even though I probably could have trusted these guys because they did a really good job. And she's staring at this plaque, and she finally looks at me and she goes, "Did you have this made special?" And I go, "No, there was like a gift somebody got me." And she goes, "It's really detailed." And it is a picture of Paul Konerko hitting the grand slam. I believe this is him hitting the grand slam. Yeah, it's definitely him hitting the grand slam. It's a close-up of it in the World Series. And it says Paul Konerko, Paulie, 1997 to 2014 with his number on it. And then it gives Paul Konerko's stats. And this is what she was so like amazed by, was like the detail. Like, she believed only a psycho like myself would put this together. Like, nobody would make this as a regular plaquette. And so I just wanted to go through it, because then I ended up reading it. And I was like, Paulie was just there for the Savannah Bananas. Looks like he's enjoying retirement, as you said, right? Like, he looks prosperous. Looks prosperous, right? That's a nice way of saying it. He looks prosperous. Okay. And I just wanted to go through it because, I mean, like, some of the stuff, like, when I'm looking at it, like, you don't know all these stats. So here's Paul Konerko, his career on this plaque that Dana thought that I had done myself. She's like, there's no way this is from the store. You're a nut job. You did this. And I was like, no, this is bought. I believe it's bought. 1994 first round draft pick. You never realized that he had been in the minors for so long. 6-time All-Star. 2002, 05, 06, 10, 11, and 12. 05 ALCS MVP. I forgot that he was the ALCS MVP. Yeah. I really did. With all those pitching performances, and Dye's the one in the World Series, you forget he's the MVP of the ALCS. Team captain since 06. I don't think, have we ever had another team captain?
Not that I can recall.
Why don't we ever have another team? Like, he was wearing the C like it was hockey.
Who are you team captaining right now, though?
Right now, Lenin Sosa, the cornerstone of the organization. Maybe
I read an article that says that Miguel Vargas is really the clubhouse guy.
Oh my God! Punch me in the face. It's the same thing as when Andrew Vaughn was the clubhouse guy. This is what the White Sox do. The PR machine that is the White Sox. They got to make you laugh out loud when you take a step back for a moment and think about this. Forget what Andrew Vaughn is doing with Milwaukee right now, which, who knows? I mean, maybe it's real. I mean, I compare it to the Jake Berger like flash of he's going to be an all-star for the next 10 years after the White Sox got rid of him, which is not the case this year. And I love Jake. He's been on the show before. But the Andrew Vaughn thing, he was a replacement level player that they couldn't justify keeping. So they went to the narrative of he's the team leader with his wild and crazy eyes. That's the team leader. And so now with Vargas...
And dear leader, by the way, is hitting 208 with a 653 OPS over his last 15 games. So
that's Vaughn?
That's Vaughn.
Vaughn's falling apart. Shocking.
Who knew? Shocking.
Who knew that was going to happen? And then Miguel Vargas, he had a really good May. He's had a nice little couple week span here and there, but I don't know yet. I really don't. Even at this point, I have no idea. They don't know either, but they know that doubt is creeping in. So now that article comes out. Now that push comes.
He's the selfless guy who will play anywhere on the field. He just wants to be part of the team.
Right. Well, I want to just be a part of the team too. Can I play? Can I be in there? I'd be a lot of fun in the locker room, Ed. I'll get in there. I'll tell some jokes, right? And we'll all laugh at how Jerry's cheap. I'll play anywhere they want to play me. Play me anywhere. Left field, center field. I'm going to play it badly, but I'll stand anywhere. Like Larry Garcia. He can play anywhere. Can he? Have you seen him in center field? No, he can't play everywhere. Some of the things that they say. Like, I mean, are they chuckling up there in the PR room? Are they laughing? Like, do they have like a big board of like weird catchphrases that they've used on White Sox fans for the last 20 some years? Like, and they just insert them like a Mad Lib. Give me a break.
That's what it is. It's PR Mad Libs.
PR Mad Libs. Oh, okay. Listen, we're gonna keep going with this. I want to read the Paulie play.
Okay, yeah. Paul Canary.
We're gonna keep going with that. First of all, let me tell you about Hyatt Home Medical Equipment, one of our proud sponsors, who probably woke up this morning and like, what happened to the show? Don't worry, it's here. The move took all day. I mean, I talked to you last night, and I was like, I'm dying. Yeah. I'm dead. It's exhausting, and I'm not one of the guys that was carrying stuff up 3 flights of stairs. These guys, they throw just giant pieces of furniture on their back and walk up the stairs. And I was telling my son, I was like, man, I can't do that. He goes, yeah, but your back still works at 48, and it's not going to, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen for these guys. I mean, I love them. They were awesome. I tipped them. They're great guys. But oh my God, they're just going to be hunched over, and they're going to need Hyatt Home Medical Equipment.
Yeah, they're going to need Hyatt Home Medical.
They're going to need it. My moving crew is going to need it after what I saw them lift, just throwing up over their shoulders. Switch to a new age of life. Keep mom and dad, grandma and grandpa out of assisted living, make it so they can get around on their own and live independently with Hyatt Home Medical Equipment. Stair lifts, ramps, grab bars, lift chairs, even bathroom remodeling. They work with your insurance, and they have 0% financing for qualified individuals. If you use a CPAP machine and you're unhappy with your vendor, switch now. Get supplies directly mailed to you. And they also have the latest and greatest in continuous glucose monitors. For whatever you need, big or small, learn all about Hyatt Home Medical Equipment at hhme.com. Okay, continuing on with Paulie here, who's the only team captain they've ever had. But Miguel Vargas, who knows? That might be the next thing they do. They put a C on his chest. They haven't done that yet. They were like, really? And they have the audacity to do it and then try to tell you you're crazy for thinking it's a crazy idea. Here's his career records for the White Sox. I'm gonna kind of get in the way of the Sox nerd here on this one. Let's see if he knows all these. I'll be curious if on the next show if he references he didn't know any of these. Second in home runs on the White Sox, at least at the time this was printed. Okay, I believe all these are still true. I don't think we've had any really good players that could have eclipsed these. 432 home runs. He's got 1,383 RBI, and he's got 2,268 in terms of games played. 2,268 games played. That is second. That is his White Sox career records. Third in at bats for the Sox at 8,169, in hits at 2,292, and in doubles at 406. And fourth on the White Sox in runs with 1,141, and fourth with walks, base on balls. I'm reading this poorly, I'm sorry. 904. No number ones. He's not first in anything. But he had a lot of balls.
So I don't know where he ranks in terms of ballage there, but he's got a lot of balls.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot in the second and third and fourth place on the team leaderboard. Okay. White Sox career highlights include the handoff. Oh, you see, obviously the PR department got involved in this. The number one. This is crazy. This has to be maybe this was bought for me through a White Sox store, because of all of his career highlights. What do you think is the number one listed highlight on this plaque? Which I used to really love, and now it annoys me.
Handed the ball to Jerry.
Handing the ball to Jerry. Come on.
Is that really on there?
It's on there. The handoff, they call it.
Okay, I mean, I've seen that plaque 1,000 times. I've been in your basement, but I never really read it.
I've never been more disgusted by a plaque. This thing hung in my basement for so long. 20 years in my basement, and I finally read it. The handoff, with a date on it, October 28th, 2005, presents ball from final out of 2005 World Series to chairman Jerry Reinsdorf. This plaque was created by the White Sox PR department. Nobody calls it the handoff. Nobody.
No.
Who calls it the handoff? The next time I'm in Cork and Kerry at the park, I'm going to ask that question to everybody there. Do you remember the handoff? Let's see the weird looks on their faces while they're eating an award-winning burger, right? Ballpark favorites,
Right.
great price, indoor-outdoor seating. Our proud sponsors over there at 33rd and Princeton. See everything they have to offer at corkandkerry.com. I mean, the handoff. That's insane.
The handoff.
The handoff. That's what it's called. That's what it's called.
No.
The Grand Slam is second.
No, the Grand Slam is first.
October 23rd, 2005.
The handoff maybe. The handoff's not even a career highlight.
Becomes first Sox player to hit a World Series Grand Slam, putting Sox in the lead in the 7th inning of Game 2. And then September 27th, 2014, Paul Konerko Day. That's the only three that are on this plaque. See, this is why Dana thought this was made up, because it actually makes no sense. It's gibberish. Those are his only highlights? Those are his best three career highlights? He gave the ball to Jerry Reinsdorf. He hit a Grand Slam in the World Series, and he retired, and they had Paul Konerko Day for him? This plaque now, I don't know. This plaque may go into the storage room instead of to the next studio. This may be a storage piece. I'm sorting things out right now.
Things you find when you move after 20 years.
I'm like, this garbage hung on my wall for 20 years? I mean, not Paulie. Paulie's not garbage. The plaque looks nice.
Maybe it's one of those things where you put it, depending on the layout of your new space, you put it in such a way where you can immediately look at the picture and tell that's Paulie hitting the Grand Slam in the World Series.
Right.
And then you can't really read anything else on it.
Yeah, it's almost like now it's like one of those ornaments that always goes on the back of the tree at Christmas time. Like you're gonna put it up, but now you're kind of disgusted with it, right? Like it's the same thing. Like I have this White Sox history book that somebody must have rushed to put out, and because they wanted to add all the World Series stuff, and when they get to the World Series, they're wrong on so many things. Like Carl Everett scoring the final run, it's not Willie Harris. They have Scott Podsednik knocking him in. Like it's like it was before AI. The AI
completely didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. Like I mean, like when you read like it's recapping it, like the rest of the book is great, but like the last couple pages, like I don't know who made up the gibberish that was inside of it, but none of it's real. So it's there, because it's got the rest of the team history, but it's like shoved in the back of the bookcase. It's like that. That's what this is. The number one highlight is the handoff. The handoff's a thing. Things I didn't expect to get upset about on Sox in the Basement today.
No. Yes, but that is upsetting.
Things I didn't. Let's talk about something more positive. Colson Montgomery's on a tear again.
Yeah, he's my favorite kind of streaky.
Right? Isn't he?
When he goes on a tear, fun things happen at the ballpark. The last home run I saw him hit, the one down the left field line, looked like it was almost accidental. Like even he was shocked by it.
He's like, whoops,
home run. It's just fun to watch. And he really does. I mean, the power, some of the balls he has put into orbit in the right field there, it is fun to watch when he gets hot. And, it is very, very streaky though. I mean, that's the only thing that has me worried is at some point he's going to have to not be this streaky, because you look at his last 7 days, 300 average, 300 on base percentage, OPS of 1.250, 4 home runs and a double out of his 6 hits. And then you go and you expand out just to the last 15 days, 4 home runs and 2 doubles out of his 9 hits. He's hitting 205 with a 222 on base percentage and an OPS of 745.
Did nothing for a week and then went crazy the next week.
And then absolutely just destroys the Royals. Yeah. So but it's fun to watch because, I mean, we've seen streaky players before, the aforementioned Andrew Vaughn. But even when Vaughn would go streaky, it was a lot of base hits. Occasionally he'd put one out. But Montgomery, that power is the kind of thing when you have somebody, even if he never ends up being a high batting average guy, but he's streaky like this, that power, when it goes off for a week or so, can absolutely make the difference in a game, because it's game changing to hit a home run in some of those situations. It is deflating to a pitcher to watch one almost land on the concourse.
Ed, he's on a pace right now. Like, normally these guys end up finishing with like 500 at bats in a season, right?
Right.
Okay, he's got 152. He's got 14 home runs. He's on a 60 home run pace right now.
It's insane, because when we talked about,
he's on pace where if he played a whole season at the rate he's hitting home runs, he'd hit 60.
Your team leader is still Lenine Sosa with 17, because he's cooled off in the past week.
Yeah, but Colson Montgomery's going to run right past him.
He really, really is. I mean, I when we were talking about Lenine and his, if he gets consistency next year, does he have 30 home run potential? When you watch what Montgomery does when he gets on these hot streaks, 30 home run potential. I'd almost be disappointed if he plays a full season and doesn't get hurt. That's all he's got. When he's got 14 in 43 games.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, it is really, really amazing what he's doing right now. And if he could just, here's the thing, some of that streakiness might be that he's just, different teams are pitching him different ways. It's adjustments. I mean, right. It could be that. I mean, he really has the potential to get better. So that's exciting. I mean, and I made fun of Miguel Vargas earlier, but I just wanted to go and take a look while we were sitting here and I had the stats up. I mean, 281 over his last 30 days. 779 OPS.
Vargas is having a nice second half.
He's having a nice second half. And like I said, if he has a nice second half, then you don't need to put out the PR nonsense for me to judge him. That's like when they send the emails out. Do you feel like you connect with this player? I don't care if I connect with the player. Do you think he's a nice person? I don't care if he's a nice person. Does he play baseball well? That's all I care about. Do you play baseball well? If Miguel Vargas has a very good second half, Miguel Vargas could be on my team next year. If you look at the home run totals of this team, he's one of the top 5. We have 5 guys in double digits. I mean, it is late August, but I mean, we've got Sosa at 17, Benintendi at 14, Robert at 14, Colson at 14. Colson's going to win. Like, I was all into the Lenine Sosa,
because he's going to have another hot streak.
Yeah.
He'll go cold here, but somewhere between now and October, he's going to have another hot streak where he's going to bomb a team. What is it? 4 straight games he hit one in?
Okay, and then Vargas is 13. And then right outside of that, you got Baldwin at 9 and Tauchman at 8. So just looking at those names, at the end of the year, with Sosa 3 up on then the next group of Benintendi, Montgomery, and Robert, with Vargas just 1 behind them, and then I guess Brooks Baldwin just 4 behind Vargas. Let's just stop at Brooks Baldwin. Of those 6, who's got the? Give me who finishes 1 through 5. Does Baldwin sneak in there? Give me 1 through 5. Your home run guys who hit the most home runs for this team by the end of the year. Who finishes strong?
If Baldwin gets regular playing time, I think he could sneak in there, because I think he's been trying to swing for power to a certain degree. Which I'm okay with.
That's why I put him in there, because I know he's not in the top 5 right now, but he could sneak in. See, that if I look at this now,
I think Benintendi could plateau a little bit. I think Montgomery is going to be first. I think you're right. I think Lenine Sosa will get on another hot streak and hit some. Robert, I think, can probably still hit some. Vargas is actually the one that I'm not entirely sure about, because I feel like if he's focusing on just hitting the ball well and putting it in play. And the one thing I do like about Miguel Vargas' game in the second half is his on-base percentage is .375. He's taking walks and getting on base, which is good. But if he's in that position where he's just trying to put the ball in play, they may or may not go out. Whereas with Montgomery and Baldwin, to a degree, Sosa, I think, just has that innate power, that innate home run swing. I think those guys could continue to do it. And Robert, if he's capable.
If he's not injured. He left with a hamstring thing the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, I would say right now Montgomery's going to win it. He's going to have the most home runs. Sosa will come in second. Robert after him. And then, I don't know, it's a mishmash after that. You're probably, I bet you it goes then Benintendi and Baldwin. But Vargas has a better average.
Yeah.
If Vargas hits well in the second half, he doesn't need to hit a lot of home runs for me.
No.
Yeah.
No, I would rather I mean, really honestly, if Miguel Vargas maintains something of a decent average, that high on base percentage, if he's something of a doubles machine, then I'm okay with him because he becomes a well-balanced hitter, and you need some of that in your lineup, especially if you're going to have Colson Montgomery somewhere in the middle where he's the guy that is going to strike fear in the hearts. And if Lenyn Sosa is his running buddy in the middle of that lineup, that's lining up to be pretty decent, especially if you can add one more professional bat in there. And it could come in-house. It could come from, say, a Curtis Mead as he starts to get more playing time and tries to put things together. It could definitely come from Brooks Baldwin if he can get on base more. I mean, there's opportunities there for guys to build a middle of a lineup, and you can have a Chase Maedroth at the top of the lineup or at the bottom. You can have guys fill in. I think Kyle Teal might actually be a candidate to be a leadoff hitter given how well he's hitting and getting on base. And same with Edgar Caro. I mean, you've got the bones of it there to start building a lineup. It's just going to be a question of who carries it over to next year, and then what can you add around them.
Did you see the new schedule come out?
I did. I saw that it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that struck me was that it starts off the way that it always should start off for a team like the White Sox, and of course, in a year that they have no chance, like 26, you just want to see them. I mean, I'd love to see a 500 team. Which people laugh at that, but I mean, it's not impossible for them to at least be close to that next year. I mean, I want to see real progress next year. I want to see them go out and get a couple of players and be like a competitive baseball team next year. And,
right.
But I mean, like, imagine if they were a team that like had a little buzz, like playoff buzz behind them. This would be a great way to start it. They're going to be indoors at Milwaukee and then down in Miami. Those are their first two series. Think about all the years where they just start off in some frigid place and none of their players can get going because they're just wearing like full-on gloves and winter hats trying to coming out of spring training, and it kind of kills everything that they're building because this is a cold weather team in terms of where it plays, but the players have never been really good at adjusting to the cold. We've always had that historically as a team. And now they're gonna kick off the first two series indoors and down in Miami in the warmth. Well, why can't we get that every year?
Well, and they spend a lot of time on the West Coast then, too, as they get into April and May. And they go down to see Tampa. And Kansas City is probably a little bit warmer than Chicago in early April. So really, with the exception of the home opener and the home opening series against the Blue Jays and against the Orioles, where between April 2nd and April 8th, you're going to be playing in probably mediocre to crappy weather, their schedule really does line up nicely with going places that are going to be warm and giving themselves an opportunity. Really, when you look at how they're going to end up doing with that, and some of the teams that they're going to be playing against are not going to necessarily be strong. I mean, you've got opportunities. The Rays have not really been what they should be. And the Athletics are on their schedule early on. The Orioles were really disappointing this year, and maybe a team that in spite of all the prospect hype never really lives up to it. The Nationals are on your early schedule. The Angels, who have been dog meat, are on your early schedule. The Padres, who have been a little disappointing but can spend a lot of money and turn around quick. So you've got opportunities there. Really, the first series, based on how the teams are this year, that it has me like, ooh, that's going to be a tough one. Besides the Blue Jays, who could be really, really good, but also will be playing in really crappy weather, you get all the way down to early May 8th with the Mariners, and you're playing in Seattle at that point. So that's a tough road game, and they're also playing the Cubs early on too.
And meanwhile, when you look at this one right here, you look at the schedule they have left. They go 500. They're not going to lose 100 games.
Right.
Do you think Venable's doing a good job as we finish the show off? Do you think? I mean, because my uncle sent me a text yesterday while I'm in the middle of moving.
A lot of people don't think so.
And he's like, you think he's doing a good job because the expected win total of this team is really 59 and 73 instead of 48 and 84. And so, and that's based upon how many runs they've scored and how many runs they've allowed. It's like a weird metric that I don't know if it really matters. But he was basing it on that. He was saying, look, you go and look at the MLB standings, they should be a better team why are they not a better team? I don't think he's any good.
I have a problem with that metric. And here's why. Because if you watch the White Sox and you see the scores, they have, especially in the second half, had games where they scored a ton of runs, and some of those ended up being losses because the pitching staff has faltered badly in the second half. Also, they have been blown out sometimes, and they have lost a lot of close games. So the run differential as a metric doesn't really take into account the idea that some of these games are skewed. And this young team, you've had a guy like Shane Smith, who was great at the start of the year, fall off. Sean Burke and Jonathan Cannon, who were in your rotation at the start of the year, are in Charlotte. I mean, they've been demoted because they fell off so badly. So you've got some wins and you've got some losses there that don't necessarily follow with how many runs were scored and how many runs you've given up. Because especially in the beginning of the year, when the offense was not there, okay, when they weren't scoring runs in bunches, it got skewed in the second half, where now, especially with Colson Montgomery hitting 14 home runs in 40 games, you've got a completely different lineup and a much different run differential than you did in the first half. So I don't know that you can pin run differential expected stats on Will Venable. I think the question has become, has Venable put guys in a position to succeed? And I think we have quibbles about Edgar Caro's usage versus Kyle Teal's usage and how you've gotten two young stars, emerging stars into your lineup. I think, he's done a good job managing Colson Montgomery. I think he has done a reasonable job with Miguel Vargas. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell what Vargas is at this point, but
it's hard to say get rid of the guy. It's hard to say get rid of the guy when you're seeing so many positive things.
Development.
Right. I mean, I go back to what Ricky Renteria explained to myself and the guy who was here for just a little bit of time before you joined the show. When he sat there and he explained that, he talked about painting pictures and how him and Rick Hahn work out the lineup, and it was really convoluted. But what he was trying to get to is he was trying to explain that you're making decisions at this point based upon developing a guy, not upon always winning a game. And so it's very hard to judge him right now. He may be good, he may be bad. But I know this season is better than what I expected. Because there is hope for Vargas, even though the book is still out on him. Because Colson Montgomery, who looked like he was dead and done, they figured out how to get him going and then brought him up at the perfect time. And then the manager and the staff that's at the major league level were able to continue his growth and get a guy to produce what he's doing right now who didn't look like he was worthy of even getting a promotion. And that Lenin Sosa is finally getting enough of an opportunity and played the right way that we're starting to see the thing that you and I yelled about for a year or so with him, that you have to give him this opportunity because he can actually hit. There's certain things I'm seeing that I didn't have any faith I was going to see this year. So I don't know if he's a great X's and O's guy, but I don't know if he's had a chance to prove that. What I do know is it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be this year.
Yeah. Give a manager a real pitching staff and a steady lineup, and then you can talk about X's and O's. Because when Tony La Russa, for example, was handed a playoff team and was falling asleep in the dugout, we knew his time had passed, right? And
Tony didn't know. Tony wasn't sure about
Tony
it.
wasn't aware.
Tony wasn't aware that his time had passed. He still thinks his time is now.
I'm not entirely sure they haven't turned Tony's office into a dugout with a bunch of cardboard players just to make him feel better.
He goes there every day and he manages a game, but he doesn't realize it's not a real game.
Yeah, it's just a big IMAX screen somewhere in the bowels of the ballpark.
Then he goes and he sits down with Jerry and they talk about the handoff. One of the great moments.
The handoff.
One of the great moments in White Sox history.
The handoff.
Sox in the basement. Sox in the basement. Sox in the basement.
Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always on soxinthebasement.com.